training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're
Team, welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, joined as always by Justin McClintock. And today we have no agenda, so if you hate when we're unscripted, you should skip this week.
That's right. We're deeply, tightly scripted, all of the other episodes. Aside from these, this is our shoot the shit format, but everything else is pre-written.
Everything else is sentence by sentence, line by line.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm not bad. I have a busy but productive day. I'm not quite done yet. Sometimes, a peek behind the curtain, we're recording this on a Friday. And when we get to do that, a lot of times I try and structure it so it's the last thing in my work week because I really like this. I enjoy hanging out with you and spending time. And it's a great thing to have be the last thing. We're like, well, I just had a heck of a time and shot the shit with my friend. And now I get to go do personal life stuff. And I'm not quite there, but almost there. Partly because I got to have two different medical professional consults today for clients. And everyone was super cool and open and excited to do it. And it felt extremely productive and useful. So that was nice.
That's excellent. I would be done, except for there is one pair of clients that I program for. It's a husband and wife couple that they train together in person when they train, which is very, very cute. One of them is a seasoned exerciser and the other is not. And they're very, very supportive of each other. And it's lovely to train them, but they travel a ton. And so we kind of go back and forth between we're working together in person versus I'm programming you for your travels. And I realized while I was sitting down to extend their programming that at some point on the travel that they're at, they're going to lose gym access, but they still want to train body weight. And I don't know when that day is. And so I had to send a message. And then that's going to be the only task I have to do. It's like, okay, sick.
Sometimes if I get that, if I know that I'm going to be putting a program in, but I don't know when, I will go hide it like a month ahead somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll go and do all of the brain work and lay it out. Like with the body weight thing where equipment as it were and all of that. Just write the program. And then I know when I get the actual date schedule information, I can kind of lump it in and you might have to jiggle some stuff around, but it'll mostly work if you're in that programming flow state of mind.
The thing is that I'm also not I'm very, very aware that we're getting some weather here in Columbus, Ohio, and that it's going to get worse before it gets better again. And both of my children need to be picked up early today. So basically, as soon as we're done recording, I'm going to head towards my oldest kiddo. Because the school district already called us and said, hey, we're not dismissing elementary early. We're dismissing them normal time. However, we have been advised that the buses are going to be dramatically delayed. And so if you have the ability to come get your kid early, we would strongly recommend that. I was like, fuck. All right.
So what leads to that decision? I can only imagine, or my first guess for that decision would be the buses can't get there early because they're doing something or the drivers are elsewhere or whatever.
Correct.
It's not possible to scramble them 2 hours early. However,
that's right.
The weather's so bad that on time is already going to be quite late.
Correct. On time is going to be quite late. And they can't push it earlier. I mean, the roads are pretty nasty here. I had a client get an fender bender this morning.
Oh dear.
And need to cancel. I had a couple others very concerned that I was seeing people at all today. I'm like, I had no idea we were getting weathered today.
Nope.
I got in my car on the way and was like, huh. And but so they can't bump up buses for a number of reasons. One of them being that they're elementary schoolers, and what if a communication to a parent fell through the cracks. I'm like, well, yeah, we sent you an email and we sent
Yeah.
you a text and we called you to tell you that your kid was going to be dropped off 2 hours early. But like, what if somebody works in surgery and they're not going to have access to their phone, right? Like, we can't drop off a 6-year-old 2 hours early on a street corner.
All right, we did our part. Goodbye.
Right. And then the secondary to that also is that there are a finite number of buses that are also responsible for
Yep.
shuttling high school and middle school. And so part of that communication was also, hey, high schoolers and middle schoolers, we are dismissing early. We're dismissing at 1 o'clock. But like, don't expect your kiddos off the bus before like 2:15.
Yeah.
So then by the time the buses get back to elementary school and load back up and like get kiddos out, they're then delayed from regular time anyway.
Yeah, of course.
And Ted and I are both very fortunate to have really, really flexible lives,
Yeah.
generally speaking. And I would much rather just go pick up Walter 2 hours early
Yeah.
than be waiting at his bus stop for like an hour. That sucks
who
for
knows?
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. It's no fun. Get them off. Driving your car is easier than driving a bus anyway. Just, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go straight home and we are going to go get groceries together because Ted is a much more confident winter driver than I am. I'll do it. I learned in the winter. I learned in a storm. Like, I'm grateful for that. And he has a leveler head about like, oh, we've lost traction.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. Whereas I become the raccoon in a trench coat, like, what?
Yeah. Which, unlike every other situation in life, when you're skidding on ice, it's the time to not do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've encountered a time when becoming the trench coat raccoon is helpful, and yet.
I mean, it's certainly entertaining.
Well, yeah, it's helpful for other people.
Yeah. It's fun to
For
watch.
for
Please
me,
don't
navigating
stop.
the world.
Yeah.
No, I am though. I am going to be starting therapy in March,
Okay.
so maybe I will become a sentient raccoon in a trench coat.
That's how therapy works, right? Like, you do one session, it's like flipping a switch, and
Yeah, I'll
then
be
you're a
fixed.
whole different person. Oh, they're gonna fix you. Oh, cool. Cool. You should get your therapist to say those words out loud. I'm going to fix you.
I'm going to fix you. Sure.
I bet they
No,
won't.
I bet they won't. I bet
And
they
I bet they
won't.
won't.
Yes, that's a new development. I found a therapist and we
Mhm.
had a conversation and it feels like a good fit. And so we're going to get started next
Yeah.
month.
I love it. I was considering on the ICE conversation, not trying to divert from talking about therapy,
Mm-hmm.
that my local hardware store, meaning the one I can walk to fairly easily, is out of rock salt and ice melt and has been out for a couple of days. And I called them today and they were very honest, like, I don't know, man. Like, we don't have any. I don't know when it's coming. As soon as it comes in, it gets sold immediately. We don't get that much of it. There's a couple of hardware stores and they're still local-ish. Like, when at all possible, I completely avoid Home Depot and mostly avoid Lowe's for
Sure.
mostly like not wanting to support ghouls reasons. But there's some other smaller but further away grocery hardware stores that I strongly suspect do have rock salt because they're so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But getting there's a little bit of a trick, and I'm wondering. I'm seeing the first hints of flurries starting to appear, but
Mm-hmm.
if the roads are good enough that Vespa-ing is not insane.
If I saw if I saw a large man in a coat on a Vespa in the winter, I would immediately take a photograph and be like, "Are you okay?
Well, the
Like,
roads are
are you
pretty
having a mental
good,
health crisis?"
but they're not great, and all it takes is I don't know if you know about this about Vespas, they only have 2 wheels, and it
Right.
makes it significantly less stable than, say, a
Well, yeah,
four-wheeled vehicle, and, I really don't want to dump it even if it's not a catastrophic incident.
sure.
because it's also kind of heavy and no fun to get back up, and you look silly in
Right.
the middle of the road trying to do it. And I just imagine a Looney Tunes, like if I slip on ice or something, and then I'm standing there trying to pick it up with my feet flailing, and I'm trying to use only one good shoulder and not hurt my other one, and doing it backwards, and
Oh my god.
then everyone's just taking pictures. So maybe I'll get a car. Maybe I'll get a
Maybe
car.
we'll get a car.
I
You
do
could
think,
also see if you could use like as a one-off, like something like Instacart or DoorDash for rock
yeah,
salt.
it's true. I've never used any of those services before.
And like just tip handsomely to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, I'm sure there's people doing that. I would tip
Oh
very
yeah.
well. It is hard asking someone to get like a 50-pound bag of anything, though I could order smaller bags, I guess. I'll consider it, and I'll look into like car availability. It
Yeah,
might be cheaper to get a car for like an hour.
that's fair.
Yeah, because there's zip cars all over the place. I've been a zip car member for
Right.
ever and ever, and
That's not a thing here, so
yeah, college towns are really good about having zip car availability because lots of
mm,
kids, though fewer in Brown, I suspect, but lots of kids don't necessarily own cars, but want a
mm,
car for 2 hours to go do an errand kind of
sure.
thing. Yeah.
Sure. I don't think I've seen any of those on campus at OSU.
Hmm.
However, I definitely have not been looking.
Yeah, they might. They're usually not. There's usually not a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
around here, there's a number of different locations, but there's like one or two cars at each location. So like in a parking
Mhm.
garage, there'll be like one or two spots reserved for zip cars or parking a lot or that kind of thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, can you hear in my voice that I'm still sick?
A little bit, but I don't think it would. I don't think if you had said anything, the listeners would have really caught it.
Ah, well, that just says I'm nasally all the time. That's great. Um, I am still sick. I think
Yeah.
I would be 100% today. I really do.
Except,
But except that we played pickleball last night
sure.
and like I woke up yesterday feeling like pretty close to $1,000,000. Like, yes, finally, we're on the other side. Here we are. We can do this. I slept more than 10 consecutive hours without getting up for a moment and was like, cool, ready to get back to it, and played over an hour of pickleball with the advanced crew and then woke up this morning like, so here we are.
Possibly a little too much.
Yes, thank you, Justin. Possibly a little too much. I
Okay.
I thought to myself, like, why don't you go lift instead? I was like, but I want to play pickleball with my friends. When will we learn? Not this time,
Not
apparently.
this time.
However, I am forced to take the weekend off. So normally, you know that our rhythm is to play on
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday mornings. Like, love it. Super, super into it. Highlight of my week. But they are hosting a tournament this weekend, and so
Oh, I see.
there will be no open play opportunity.
And you're not in the tournament, I
I
take it.
am not in the tournament. We did not register. We thought about registering, but they had very particular categories. Um, and if we were going to register, we were going to register as a co-ed team, Ted
Mhm.
and I. And we would have had to choose to either be in the advanced pool
Right.
or in the 39 and up pool. Like that was the only co-ed that they were offering. They were
Okay.
not offering a co-ed beginner or intermediate, which intermediate would be the right fit for us. Um, and staff kind of like playfully bullied us and was like, you could definitely still sign up for either of those. Like, it's fine. Like, yeah. And I'm not an advanced player. Like, I can hang and get beat by like 6 or 7 points, but like we will be at the bottom of the barrel in this tournament and lose every game for sure.
Sure.
And yes, I understand that you are telling us you can sign up with the 39 plus, but Ted is 35 and I am 34, and that
Yeah.
is not what you have in your rules,
Yeah.
sir. So, like, that it feel I
And
hear
the
you.
46-year-olds might be cranky.
Right. Right. So, with every kind of like, come on, it'll be great. Now that we're here and I'm still not feeling, top brass, I'm grateful that we decided not to sign up.
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely seems like the right decision, or you would have been considering dropping out presently.
right. Because I think I'm definitely well enough to play and I'll pay for it.
Well, yeah. So are you? If you're gonna definitely pay for it, are you well enough to play? Just
I
the fact that you
mean,
could live through it doesn't mean that it's okay.
well, I could, I can like put on a brave face for the game and
Sure.
play really, really well and
Uh-huh.
then wake up the next day like Kermit the Frog.
Yes, I believe it. Uh-huh.
So, we'll not be playing pickleball this weekend. We'll
Good.
definitely lift at some point
Mhm.
and take a vigorous walk.
We
Um,
were talking earlier today about the incoming weather, because you were concerned at one point that you couldn't record. You thought you might have to just
yeah,
bail and leave Sustain just to get home
yeah.
safely and deal with the kiddos. And I also hadn't really paid attention to the weather, and I opened up my map and was like, "Oh, yeah, Wheezy's under a bunch of snow. What's going on? Oh, wait, all of this snow is gonna hit me at midnight, last all day on Saturday, like, and be way more significant." Like, 2 days ago, it was supposed to be like, "Oh, you might get an inch." We're getting a bunch of inches, and then
Mhm.
it's gonna drop to, like, 4 degrees on Sunday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's all gonna freeze in place and never leave.
right. I know for us, we're supposed to be in the 50s late this upcoming week, which
Oh,
is like batshit to me. Like how
I wouldn't give.
it's unfathomable. But then it's gonna drop right back down
Yeah.
to like 20 something.
A couple of days of 50s would really help. That would be great. Just to,
Yeah.
like, things are still a mess. The sidewalks are still a mess. A bunch of the streets are still a mess. Like,
Yep.
it's just no good.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where I'm like spot mopping like 2 or 3 times a day because it's
Yeah.
just so gross, and I don't want that to be the first thing that people experience when they walk in the front door. Ugh, bleh,
You know, with
gross.
the garage gym, I know you do versions of this, but I'm
Yeah,
really happy I instituted, first of all, the branded Feel Strong mat immediately inside the door,
yep,
and then gym shoes. So, like,
yep,
you step on the mat, you slide off your house shoes, you put on your gym shoes, take
yep,
a step forward, and everything's okay. And it's, I would say it's 95% effective.
right,
Occasionally, there's still, like, a drop here or something like that, but I don't have, rock salt footprints everywhere or any of that stuff.
right. We have a similar I know you know this, but we have a similar setup. The difference is that the place where people take their shoes off is like 5 or 6 steps in the
Yep,
door. And so then that pathway ends up just like nasty. And it's also the first thing that people see when they walk in.
yeah,
It's like, okay, I'm just going to get really comfortable with like a quick pass a couple of times a day.
yep.
It's fine.
It's fine. I might even put, like, a collapsible Swiffer or something
Yeah.
behind the front desk, so it's just the easiest thing in the world to, like, grab, do it, move on.
Well,
Grab,
that's
do it.
smart.
Yeah,
That's
to
a
make it
great
be, like,
idea.
a one shot, and that makes it, like, super low friction, so you'll never be, "Actually, I'm
Yeah,
too busy and I'm setting up and I have to answer the phone," like, with one hand, you could grab it and just take care of it.
that's true. I like that a lot. I
From
like
me to
that a
you.
lot. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Of course.
Um, we talked about this a little bit offline, but this is the busiest month I've ever had.
Yeah, you've been crazy, especially with the in-person work.
It's been crazy. I know that we've talked on the pod in the past about like, okay, great, Sustained is open. Like, I really would like my focus to be more like 60-40 in person online, whereas previously it had been the other way around, maybe even more like 75-25
Mhm.
to the favor of online. And I graduated a few online clients, which I'm grateful for because that means they were ready to graduate. And
Yep,
also, it means that some bandwidth freed up for me. But over 2025, my like average sessions per month was somewhere between 25 and 30. And in the month of January, not including that we had a full week and change of weather shutdown, and that the first week of the year I was not at Sustained at all. I
Yeah.
had 48 in-person sessions.
Yeah. So that's 48 in like 2.5 weeks, not a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Which is great because it means that I'm busy,
Uh-huh.
and I'm busy in ways that I said that I wanted, but it was also very jarring to go from, like, coasting, cool, okay, to, like, "Great, you're sick. Great, you have weather. Great, you have more
Yeah.
clients than you've ever had. Figure it all out."
Yeah. It can be hard. But it seems like you've got like the systems that you instituted seem like they're
Mhm.
working, at least from this
Yeah,
distance. Is that accurate?
it is.
Yeah.
And I'm never onboarding more than one person actively at a time.
Okay.
Um So, like, not to say that there's not, like, multiple people who are entering the plane at once, but, like, one is at the point of putting luggage in the overhead bin,
Yep.
and one is just walking onto the jet bridge, so that I'm not, like, fully getting somebody oriented multiple times at
Yeah.
once, because I can find that really exhausting to do well.
Honestly, I do the same thing online. I don't like I can even staggering people by a day or two can be enough,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
trying to do everything for multiple people
it's too
in
much.
the onboarding process, well, it's too much, it's overwhelming. And then where I always get concerned, especially with like single person overwhelm, is does the quality drop?
Yeah,
I have flashbacks of coaching the 7:30 p.m. class at CrossFit after I've been coaching the same workout all day long. Which
yeah,
would happen like, oh, I'm coaching I covered someone's morning, so I'm coaching the 6 and the 7 and the 8, and it's stupid to make someone else come in, so I'll coach the noon, and then I'll
yeah,
coach the 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. The 7:30 class, I'm on autopilot. Like,
right.
I'm saying the exact
You're
same
tuned
words, the
out.
exact same way. I'm making the same jokes I made the last 2 hours. I'm like, I am just cruising. I'm trying so hard to stay present and listen, but I'm like 3.5 hours in, and you're like, "This isn't that good." Like, it's fine, but it's not that good. And I mean, I wasn't happy then. And we talked about it with gym ownership. I'm like, I don't think 4 hours in a row with like literally 30 seconds between classes is
Right,
a good idea for like
right,
quality. But I certainly don't want one-on-one stuff with the kind of hyper individualization to ever become like that.
right. Did we talk about the one time that I taught 4 row classes in a row?
No.
So, by the 4th one, I was so physically depleted and, like, mentally checked out that I forgot to, like, start, the playlist. Like, I didn't have it teed up, and
Sure.
so, like, I say my quick intro at the podium, I turn around to go hit play, and there's nothing there.
But
And so, like, everybody's expecting something to very quickly happen, and so I
uh,
just clicked into the first one that I found
oh, what was it?
and taught it blind. It was fine. It was like
Okay.
somebody else's class,
Sure.
but had no idea where it was going at any point, or
Right.
like what is the intention of this one. The thing that's nice is that in that format we had like little transition tracks to indicate when we were like moving to floor work or moving back to the rower.
Right.
And so I knew, like, okay, the transition music is coming, so something like it started, so something else is about to happen, but had no idea where stuff was going. And if it was a song that I wasn't familiar with, was just like coaching blind. And so at one point in that class, I gave the cue, gang, we're just still rowing. And I remember thinking, like,
Inspiring.
oh my God, Weezy, this is the worst class you've ever taught.
Do you
Um,
want to, for people who don't, there's people I imagine who don't know why this is such a big deal and why the playlist
yeah.
would matter that much. Do you want to explain that?
Oh, yes, I would love to
Because it's a
explain that.
really important part of like how the class moves.
It's a really important
Yeah.
part of how the class moves. So, in many cycle classes and in all of the rowing classes that I've been a part of,
Mhm.
you move as a unit.
Yep.
Like, it's not everybody out there kind of doing their own thing. We are hitting at the catch, which is at the front of the row stroke, and at the finish, which is at the like legs extended portion of the stroke together. And it is like BPM based.
Yeah. And people
So
are
like,
following you.
and
The
people
coach.
are following me, right? And so a BPM of 120 is a 30 stroke rate per minute. That would be like a really fast, that'd be about as fast as we'd go.
Okay.
And if I don't have any idea where we're going, or if it's like a steady state, or if it's an interval where we're supposed to push a little harder during the chorus, like I have no idea. And part of the reason that my classes were so successful is that I was very precise. And so I would have mapped out for my stuff like, okay, we're going to have 12 strokes at this higher intensity at the 39-second point, at the minute 40. Like,
Mhm.
I would have that mapped, and I would clearly coach class into like, okay, we're going to kick it up. I need to see the average split drop by 15 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Push a little harder. Follow me. I got you. We're here. 8. Right. And that's part of the reason why my classes were so successful is that I was very,
Yeah.
very precise. And so then imagine me being in a class where I have no idea where
Yeah.
any of it's going.
Yeah.
No clue. I think after that class, I just had to like sit quietly for
Yeah.
like 90 minutes.
That's
so,
tough.
so stressed from experiencing that amount of stress for 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah. That's, I
Mm.
think, the worst that I ever did. And it was totally brought on by I'm just exhausted.
Mhm.
Like there's no gas left in the tank. I made one stupid mistake.
Yeah, it's stressful. You know what that reminded me of? And it's not fitness related, but I think you'll like the story.
Mm,
So when I was living in North Carolina, the Rockettes came through to sit down for like 3 or 4 weeks. Like this was going to be
mm,
their Christmas location for
sure.
a while, and it's the full Rockette show. I don't know if you've ever seen the Rockettes at Radio City, but
I haven't.
it's a Christmas spectacular. It's been going on forever. In New York,
Mhm.
I think they do like 6 to 8 shows a day. Like it
Yeah.
starts early and they just go back to back to back, and it's the same cast. But
Yeah.
amongst other thing, there's a ton of live animals. There's like an animal parade that goes across. That's like it gets very Jesus-y at one point in a
Okay.
way that like is surprising. Like it's like dancing and Ziegfeld Follies and all of this, and suddenly you're like, and then the Son of Man came. You're, what? Huh? Huh? Where did this come from? What's going on? And it's this. It's basically the show essentially unchanged as it has been for a long time. But
Sure.
they brought all the animals down, and I was going to do something on the show as what they call a local because I lived in North Carolina. I worked for the theater as opposed to the show. As we were setting stuff up, there was some kind of kerfuffle argument. Something happened, and the one of the heads of the theater came over and said, "Hey, will you come with me?" Sure. And he walked me over to Rocket Management. And they said, "This is Justin. He's your guy." He said, "Hi, Justin. We would like you to do all of the flying automation for the show, to run it. You don't need to design it. We have the guy who designed it all, but he needs to go home. So we would like you to run it." Okay. I haven't done that before. He said, "We know, but you know about rigging, you know about electronics. And honestly, you're the name. We asked 3 different people and they all said to talk to you. So what do you think?" Yeah, that sounds like fun. And I met the flying guy who it turns out we had a bunch of other mutual friends. I introduced myself and he said, "Wait a minute, you're Justin McClintock?" Which usually is the kind of thing you're like, I'm about to get punched. What? I don't even know what's going on. And it turned out we had a bunch of mutual friends. So we got on like gangbusters, loaded all the flying in, programmed the computers. But it meant that every day there's 3 or 4 times that things fly. An angel flies, Santa Claus flies. There's flying people in the Rocket show, and it's a
Right.
very serious thing. Flying is potentially extremely dangerous, right? You have computerized wires that are putting human beings through the air. They're really in the air, and it's really important that it go well. Fair enough.
Fair.
So every day I would take all of the harnesses and do a safety check on all of them and check every single point on every single connection, every single thing. I would go to each person like 20 minutes before they were flying. Hey, I'm Justin. I'm flying you today. Is it okay if I put your harness on? Excellent. Always asking, especially for like, young dancer women, asking, is it okay if I
Right.
harness you up? Buckle them all in, double check all the connections. They come on stage. We double check all the connections again. They go on stage. They do all the flying. I'm driving them flying from the little computer off stage. They land. I disconnect them. I say, thank you very much. Cool.
Mhm.
One day, I was flying. It was an angel. An angel goes out, little tiny dancer person who, by the way, the Rockettes are the most remarkable professional group of people I ever had the pleasure of working with. Like, to a person, nice and pleasant. To a person, incredibly hardworking. To a
Yeah.
person, almost perfect professionally. Like,
Mhm.
everyone always hit their mark exactly right. No one's
Right.
ever off by half a step. Like, there's a reason they're there.
Right.
We went on stage. The angel starts flying. Something else in the show goes bad. I think it was like a curtain didn't come up. That part failed, which meant the animal parade couldn't happen. So it meant, okay, we're going to jump 4 minutes forward in the show. This part failed. So the audience doesn't know. So we're
Right.
going to jump to the next part that is in front of the curtain. That'll give us 4 minutes to fix the curtain. So cancel the flying, cancel the animals, stop, come on down. I start bringing the angel down, and animals and kids start running under her. So I have to emergency stop the angel in the air. That was the right move, but it scared the shit out of the angel because she's lowering, and so they clang, and now she's suspended 12 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And I have to, in the dark, try not to scream, clear a fucking sheep and some other kids out from under them.
Right.
Then brought the angel back down, ran her on stage, unclipped her, dragged it all off stage. She was like, haha, that was funny. It's like, yep, thank you very much. I went and like sat in a stairwell for a while.
Yeah.
Because I was
It's stressful.
like, I stopped it really hard. I didn't know that she was okay. We had never practiced. I had been told how to emergency stop it, but I
Right.
wasn't positive when I pressed the correct button next that it wouldn't jump to the next cue and fire her back up in the air.
Right.
It's like, well,
And then
I'm
whiplash this
pretty sure
angel.
this is right, but if she goes up, that's going to be bad. But I don't have a lot of options. I
Right.
certainly can't leave her hanging in the air.
Right.
I'm going to have to press this button. And it did,
Right.
and it was fine. But I was, I was definitely at 200 beats per minute for a second.
Right. Yes. Very, 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 very stressed.
Mm-hmm. No,
I relate
thank
to
you.
that. That's what that 45 minutes felt like. Just
Yeah, for me, it was,
continuously pressing the button.
yeah, mine was like 11 seconds that stretched out into forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember
Right.
it. I remember every aspect of it so clearly. And just one of the rules with flying someone is you never, ever, 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 ever take your eyes off the person you're flying. So I have
Right.
like my hands on the correct buttons and I know where they are. And I'm just watching. And then I saw the stupid sheep go underneath her and I hit stop. This has to work. Or
This
else I'm
has
going
to work.
to, if it didn't work, then I stop the whole show. And
Right.
which is fine. Like, I mean, it's not fine. I would have gotten a lot of trouble, but I'd rather get into trouble and keep someone
Then
safe.
like
But
kill
it
a
was a moment
flyer.
of like, this is going to be a whole thing.
It's going to be, hopefully,
Yeah.
this just does what I expect it will
Yeah.
do.
The rest of
Right.
it was like one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. But that moment in time was tough.
Well, I think most enjoyable activities come with a dimension of risk like that.
Necessarily, I think. Yeah. That's where a lot of the fun and the opportunity is.
Yeah. I wonder, I have no idea where this sentence is going. I started it and thought if I could think of something, and I didn't think of anything at all. I wonder.
Smile it out.
No, I can't think that quickly on the fly. Without, like, here's what I was trying to say and not successful at. I have just gotten done onboarding a new client,
Mm-hmm.
and I am especially excited about this new client because they come from a very long background of CrossFit.
Sure.
and they are ready to do something different.
Oh, that is exciting. Yeah.
I am very excited. It's not like we are training to get them healthy to go back to CrossFit.
Mhm.
It is, I acknowledge that this served me really, really well for a period of time, and then it stopped serving me a couple of years ago, and I have been running into a brick wall trying to make that different,
Yeah.
and have come to the conclusion, not begrudgingly, but like I'm now excited to do something completely different, and I get to be like the Zelda
Yeah.
escort,
There's
like show
so much
them
cool stuff.
there's
Yeah.
so much cool stuff over here.
Yeah.
Like, let me show you all these quests we can go on.
The thing that really opened all those doors for me once upon a time was like real kind of pure gymnastics calisthenics. I think we've
Yeah.
talked about this, but I got like a pretty nasty hip injury that
Mhm.
precluded me from doing most lower body work to any degree of
Oh,
quality.
yes. This is
Yeah.
when you were forced to squat narrow.
Yeah, I was forced to squat narrow. I got a nasty hip injury. It was terrible. I was super grumpy, and someone gave me, after some prodding, a gymnastics program that a former Olympic gymnast had written for a CrossFit gym, but it was a pure gymnastics program.
Yeah.
They're going to do this, and it is like for quality and tempo. Still some of the stuff I write in people's programs
Yeah.
today, like eyes on the horizon, legs squeezed together, toes pointed, perfect hollow position the entire time through every movement, like
Yep.
super movement for quality. And I was like, sure, I'll do this. And I found it very challenging. And then, especially, I was coaching at the time, so I had the gym to myself when I was working out. I would go like between classes,
Yep.
and I would video almost everything, and so quickly started seeing like the different change in shapes through different like
Yeah.
degrees of body tension. It was like, oh, wait a minute, I can make that better if I do this that tiny adjustment really makes a big difference.
Mhm.
And that really opened up the way that I saw all movement. Like suddenly, like
Yeah.
weightlifting changed, and athletic
Yeah.
stuff changed, and plyometric stuff changed, and even like monostructural, like running and rowing, and those things changed. Like the ability to own and control positions for
Right.
quality as opposed to just speed and points was a
Right.
game changer, and a game changer in like getting better results.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting what can happen when we stop chasing how much work can I fit into a period of time and start chasing how good can I make this next rep look.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's arguments for having some of the former in there once sometimes,
Sure.
and I'm
Sure.
totally down with it, especially if it's something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, I often tell people, like, most of our work should be like kind of 8 out of 10. Like
Yeah.
5 out of 10 isn't usually enough to move the needle. 10 out of 10 is too hard and it's going to drop you, and we can't recover from it well enough. But there's moments to like touch that fun intensity. But
Yep.
especially that can't be most of the training if the intent is to progress and get better and get more fit, et
Right.
cetera, et cetera. If the intent is just to smash yourself into a wall 3 times a week, that that'll do it. Totally.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm
Uh,
glad you have that.
I'm very excited. They were diagnosed with Hashimoto's about 18 months ago,
Yeah.
and then that like changed the lens that they were thinking about lots of different things
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. It's tough when it happens that way. I've had that with a few clients who got things they felt like it got taken away from them. I don't know that I
Sure.
would agree with that frame exactly, but I
Hmm.
understand it. Like,
Yeah.
the thing I like got taken away from me. See, it did. And that's probably not beneficial to you anymore.
Yeah.
However, if you're still down to make progress, can I introduce you to the rest of the mansion that we're in? Because you've only been in
Right.
one room.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You, re-
Um,
Related to that, do you have another thing on that? I'm
no,
taking a slight left. There was a
take
thing
it away.
we might do a whole podcast about it, but I was thinking about it the other day, and it's coaching instinct, which is
Oh.
real and important, and also kind of woo and hard to explain to people. The last time this came up I think it was last week. I was training my wife in person, and we had a good session and had done several things like heavier than she had done before
Mhm.
and more reps than I thought we'd be able to do, and introduced another
Mhm.
like more challenging exercise. And I had like 2 more movements in the workout, and we had time, and just like the back of my head, just like bells started ringing. We finished the movement. I said, you know what? That's it. We're stopping for today. We've done we've done more than we expected to do. We went heavier here than I thought. We did
Mhm.
another set here that we didn't think we'd get to. I think I think that's it. I think going further is going to be the wrong move. Let's
Yeah.
move on. And she said, I mean, I feel okay. Yep. That's which is what we
Yep.
want. We're moving on. And I didn't have hard numbers and I didn't have data and I couldn't
Sure.
point to like, oh, well, we've done this many reps and moved this much tonnage or things like that.
Mhm.
But I've found in the past that when that bell goes off, it's usually right. And if I ignore it,
Yeah.
sometimes I've never had like a catastrophe, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not as good. And I end up
Yeah.
thinking, "Ah, I should have just stopped early. Why don't I just stick to my
Right.
guns?"
I had that feeling.
Yeah. Does that ever come up
Mm.
to you? Do you ever, especially with like you're doing so much in person work now, where something comes up and you say, "Oh, yeah, I know I had a plan, but we're changing the plan. I'm
Yes.
I saw something, I'm feeling something. I can't say, well, I'm watching your knee grow less stable, so we're going to change things.
Right.
But something in the juju is telling me that this is not the right way anymore."
Yes. And it has happened a few times, like greeting somebody up front,
Hmm.
and the tone of their greeting is just a
Yep.
little different than it normally would be. Or like somebody who normally is eyes up, smiling, or neutral faced is
Ah.
like facing their phone. Like, hmm,
Hmm.
my coach spidey senses are tingling a little bit, and I expect some things today will change.
That's what I used to tell coaches in the gym who would be on their phone before class. Like, you can learn so much about the way someone walks in the room,
Yeah.
about how the next 55 minutes are going to go. Take your opportunity to collect that information. Like,
Mhm.
observe it because, again, like the person who, like, oh, she walked in with her head held high and went to that one spot in the room that she has decided is her spot. And that's what we're doing. Great. And then one day she's kind of like dragging her feet and looking around and goes to the same spot, but just kind of like leans against the wall. And you're like, okay, well,
Hmm.
I'm checking with that person before class even starts because
Yeah.
something is up.
Something's up.
Yeah.
Something's up. And particularly in an environment like CrossFit where you probably have a prescribed weight for the day,
Yeah.
if that person doesn't get a little bit of like, "Hey, it might be a good idea. Like, can I make a suggestion on how to approach today?" If they don't get that, they might not be able to determine that for themselves and might dig themselves into a pit that takes a while to recover from, and that as a gym owner might then cost you revenue.
Yeah, 100%. And they might not recognize it. Like, I've absolutely
Yeah.
had those
No,
conversations where I'd be
totally.
like, hey, how you doing today? I'm good. Why? Something about you just seems like a little different, like lower
Yeah.
energy. Did you have a hard day? Did you not sleep well? Have you eaten recently? Like, what's going on? And they'll consider it and then give you the 3 things that are going on where their
Right.
boss yelled at them and they're starving and they actually were up very late last night doing work so their boss wouldn't yell at them and that didn't work and now they feel stupid. And you're like, got it, got it, got it. I'm so glad you're here.
Yep.
We're gonna have a great time today. Imagine that you're at 70%. Let's just take all the weights and multiply them by point 0.7 and we'll roll with that. And I think that'll be a lot more fun and let you move the way you wanna move and keep you
Yeah.
out of danger. How does that sound?
Yeah.
They say, "Yeah, sure, right."
Yeah. Great. Sure. I remember not recognizing that. I'm gonna obfuscate a little bit.
Sure.
Um, there is an athlete in some history of my coaching somewhere
Mhm.
that is a more curmudgeonly person by default.
Yeah, totally.
And I remember them being in slightly more noticeable of like grouch mode
Yeah,
for a period of time, but because they already were grouchy, nobody really spent the time to, like, figure it out,
yeah,
and it turns out that they'd just gone through a pretty catastrophic breakup, and it would have been really helpful if we were empathetic on the front end,
yeah.
and we weren't, but also, they were kind of always a pain in the ass.
Yeah. It makes it harder. Like, if you're always closed off, people aren't gonna notice when you're slamming the door shut. It's
Right.
tough. But it's
Right.
also my job to try and make sure everyone has as good a time here as they can and does as well as they can, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right. That's right. Both can be true.
Both can be true. Yeah, I was thinking about coaching instinct and how it's a very hard thing to explain, but
Yeah.
you'll kind of and the more you do, the easier it gets. You just start listening to it. Even with, like, sometimes, like, movement selection. Like,
Mhm.
you know what? There's 17 different ways that you can do a single leg quad focused exercise, but this person's really gonna dig this one, and it's gonna work
Yeah.
really well for them. They are definitely gonna respond to this in a way that they wouldn't to others, so I'm just gonna give it to them. And I don't know that I could present on it or explain it really well, but I know I'm right.
Right. But I
So,
know I'm right.
yeah, away we go.
Yeah. That's true. I have a client right now who just recently has mastered her strict pull-up,
Exciting.
and she is so excited about it, and it's
Yeah,
like all she wants to do.
sure.
Um, and so giving her that alongside some of the other things that are helping to build her capacity, like,
Mhm.
because she can do one or two, but what if we want to focus on building endurance,
Yep.
right? Like, that's not going to do it. But
Mm. Yeah.
trying to give her exactly what she wants while also moving the needle on what's important.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that because pull up is such a big benchmark. And we've talked
Sure.
about, like, the infinite progression of movements in both directions and how it sort of doesn't matter, but it also really does matter. I have definitely found that someone who, like, gets that consistent 1 or 2 pull-ups,
Right.
sometimes those are the hardest people to make do assisted work
Yes.
because they
'Cause I
it
can do it strict.
they see it as
Why
something
would
they
I
left in the
band it?
past. Yeah.
Right.
I've even had, like, younger coaches come in, and I'm doing, like, banded pull-ups. I'm like, "Justin, what are you doing?" "I'm doing pull-ups." Like, "Why are you using a band?" "'Cause I'm doing sets of 30, and I can't knock those out to a high degree of quality, and if that's embarrassing, I think I'm cool with it." But, yeah, I'm
Right.
doing
Why would you
tempo
do that?
pull-ups times 30, and so I need to lower the load to do it really well.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really CrossFit-y to me.
Yeah,
Like,
big time.
why are you scaling? You can
Yeah.
totally do RX.
Yes. Yeah, kind
Yes.
of, but kind of not, and kind of not like, there is a degree where doing 1 pull-up a day isn't going to make you better.
What? In
Ugh.
fact, if your goal is to have a better Murph time, just doing that one pull-up a day is
No,
not gonna get you
no.
closer to that.
Doing 1 pull-up 15 times a day probably will make you stronger.
Mhm,
That's just hard to
mhm.
fit in. We did have
Sure.
it was an opera festival I worked at once, and there were 2 big theaters connected by kind of a main warehouse facility, and I
Mhm.
hung, um, they're like rock rings. They're climbing holds that have,
Yeah,
like, you can put your whole hand over it, and there's, like, a 4-finger hole and a 3-finger hole and a
yeah,
2-finger hole.
sure.
I hung 2 of those from the ceiling, so, like, on 20-foot chains, but so,
Mhm.
like, most people could jump up and grab them, and the rule was, if you were on my crew, every time you passed by, you had to jump up and at least try a pull-up. So you could
Yeah,
hang, you could swing, you could flail around, you could have a good time, you could make it funny, but whatever. And, like, 3 people got really good at pull-ups and really strong because they were just, like, going back and forth, and suddenly they were doing, like, 15 pull-up attempts a day. And I was
right,
like, "Oh, this is great." It's like, "Yeah, it's because you 'cause you're taking 10 seconds to do a little bit of work, but you're doing it a lot during the day."
right.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
fun.
that. That is fun. I
Mhm.
I I can imagine that you would bring a degree of whimsy to any room that you're in.
I greatly appreciate that. I certainly try to. It is not always appreciated because
Sure.
occasionally people are trying to be really serious or productive. I'm like, we can do both."
Did we talk about, I'm sure we did at the time, but, the prank that, Tana and I tried to pull on the group picture at the seminar that we attended that
I
just went very poorly wrong.
I don't think I know about this, even if we talked about it.
Oh my God. Okay, so at the end of an active life seminar, you take a group picture, right? And
Sure.
and often the best one is posted by the powers that be,
Yeah.
about like, look at this excellent seminar that we held. And so Tana and I look at each other right before the picture's about to be taken and are like, do it. And did one of these. The problem is that Tana's hand was behind somebody else. We didn't like from where the picture was staged. And so it's just me, like, and they took multiple,
Yeah.
and we only did that for one of them
Yep.
and said, like, haha, this will be so funny. Like, everyone in the staff chat will see it and be like, haha, this is hilarious. That's the one that Sean posted
Because he didn't notice.
because he didn't notice.
Yep.
And then somebody else on staff sent it to me. Were like, Weezy, you're such a fucking ghoul. It's like, yeah, Tana's doing it too. It wasn't just me.
Don is definitely doing it, like hidden behind that person.
Look at her smirk. You can
Yeah.
tell that she's up to something.
That's really good.
And so then I just felt stupid. It was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this.
I did this is back to like theater production stuff. I used to do work on Fashion Week in New York twice a year. So there's a
Sure.
fall and a spring season. And for Fashion Week, there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of shows. And it's very, very high pressure and very, very chaotic, but also kind of fun. You get to do things that you would never do any other time because fashion designers are crazy. And a lot of them will do like almost anything to make an impression. So you'll
Right.
have these like lunatic ideas. And then it's all for a show that like a long fashion show is 12 minutes long. So
Right.
it's like months of work. And then you do
For
this thing for
12
12 minutes
minutes.
and then it's done. You tear
Mhm.
it all down. But in the main rental warehouses where all the equipment is stored, a bunch of us had what we would call work boxes, which is usually some kind of tall wooden it's a box, but it's a giant rolling box with a bunch of shelves and storage in it. And I would keep a bunch of personal stuff in there, including
Sure.
like tape and glue and tools and color and things that I've built up over the years. This is Justin's work box.
Mhm.
Great. I was in there with a great friend working on a show once, and I saw my other friend's work box just sitting in the middle of the floor. Usually they're often locked in a store. That's weird. Rich's work box is out. Huh. And I went over and it was open. It was unlocked. Either it was unlocked or I knew the code. So of course, we walk over to the packing area. Me and
Oh
my good
no.
friend wheel it over to the packing area because in the packing area, they have this giant packing peanuts dispenser. Imagine,
Yeah.
if you will, a tube that comes from the ceiling that's about a foot wide with a big switch on the side. And so
Right.
they would put all expensive lighting equipment in a box, pull the switch, fill it full of packing peanuts, turn the switch off, seal the box, send it home.
Right.
So we opened Rich's workbox and pulled out the bottom drawer and turned on the switch and filled it full of packing peanuts and closed the drawer. And then we pulled out a second drawer and filled it full of packing peanuts. And we filled the entire box, every ounce of space that was available,
Oh
with packing
no.
peanuts, closed it, locked it, put it back in storage, and just waited because we didn't know when he needed it next. And I got a call about 2 weeks later from a dear friend, just not yelling, but so obviously mad. It's like, it's like, oh, Rich was like, hey, what's up? I know what you did. Pardon me, sir. And now I didn't know this was coming, so I couldn't. I mean, it was coming eventually. So I'm trying so hard not to laugh and like play it straight because I don't know who he's with, and I want to throw him off the scent, and I want to keep going.
Right.
What are you talking about, man? Is everything okay? I know it was you. It was probably you and Mia. He was right, but I know it was you. Rich man, I need you to tell me what's going on. Are you okay? Is something up? Don't bullshit me, McClintock. And he went, I mean, honestly, to this day, there's probably a couple of packing peanuts still in that box because they're so hard to get out. But he opened it up at the beginning of a very busy day. It was just like, oh no. Yeah, it was amazing. Somewhat predictably, about a year later, I came in and found my work box taped shut. And by taped shut, I mean completely surrounded with packing tape
Right.
all the way up. And it's like a 6-foot tall box, layers of packing tape, and chained shut. And I had to get some bolt cutters and cut all the chains open to get to my box.
Sure. I think that's fair.
Totally fair. I wasn't mad. It was time I didn't have, but I probably fucked Rich's day too. Funny then, it's funny now. It's okay.
Very full of mischief.
Yeah.
Like that reminds
have
me
fun.
of what is the name of that animal? An ermine?
Yes.
Do you know about an ermine?
Mhm.
You kind of remind me of an ermine.
I'm not insulted. No one's ever said that to me, but I've been called way worse things.
So if we make merch, it should be an ermine and a trench-coated raccoon.
Yes. I think Rebecca would probably tell you that one of the things she likes least about me is that I will absolutely do it for the joke, whatever the it is.
Whatever
She's
the
like,
it is.
"This is a bad idea, Justin. You should not do this." And she'll
it's
see
gonna
the
be
glint in my eye. It's gonna be so funny.
It's gonna be
That's-
funny.
It's gonna be really funny to you. Right. That's how I understand funny. What do you mean? Like, yeah.
Sure. I can see that personality in developing in Jack Jack.
Oh, fun.
Oh my gosh, I've got to tell you this story, and then I need to probably go get my snow-trapped children. But we have a new verbal stim at the Shoemaker house.
Okay.
We have I come from a generation of sound bites, no sentient thought, just the same 12 lines from Happy Gilmore that are funny.
Yeah, for sure.
And Walter, my oldest, did something very, very funny recently that Ted and I have been verbal diarrheaing to each other. He is on the threshold of not wanting to take a bath anymore. He wants to shower and take a shower in our shower.
Yeah.
And have some space from his little brother. And cool. That's cool, man. You're allowed to have some independence and some autonomy, and you're old enough that I don't think you're going to look up and drown. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Walk downstairs to bring him some pajamas to put on after his shower, and he is hunched over, holding the soap bottle, his noodly naked form, just going over the drain.
Okay.
Yeah, over the drain. And it's my nice, expensive, Costco-sized bottle of soap. And there is a mushroom cloud of soap foam over the drain.
Yep.
And it takes him a minute after I've entered the room to process, she's here. And he just stops at the end of the pump, and he looks at me wide-eyed and he goes, "I'm doing an experiment."
Oh, that's so good.
And so Ted and I have started using that. Just let me do the dumbest thing you've ever seen and then be like, "I'm doing an experiment."
I'm doing an experiment.
He saw my eyes.
I was going to say, it was this makes perfect sense. And mom walks in, is she going to be incredibly impressed? That's not the impressed face. I'm in trouble. Why would I be in trouble? Quick, explain yourself, boy. Oh my God, I'm doing an experiment. It's beautiful.
I'm doing an experiment.
Mm.
So, that's our newest verbal stim in our house. Is shout across, "I'm doing an experiment."
That's really good. I really like that.
Ted also specifically asked me to share this on the podcast.
Sure.
That now that he is working in office, and in office is about a quarter-mile walk from Costco. He has become a break time Costco wanderer.
Oh.
And I would say at any given moment in time, there are between 3 and 5 Costco cookies hidden somewhere in our house. And he is deriving great pleasure at like opening a cabinet and pulling a cookie out and watching my face.
Are all the
Just-
cabinets like above 65 inches, so there's no chance of you getting to them?
No, but I am, this should not be a surprise. I'm pretty meticulous and I'm very, very organized. I'm very clean. And so I don't even think to look for unexpected things,
Right.
places. Like it doesn't even cross my mind. This goes here. Why would anything that's not this be there? And so he's taken great delight at like, and inside this box of shrimp, I have a frozen Costco cookie.
Opening the newspaper, pulling a cookie
Right.
out.
Right. So the funny thing that happened this week is that quite literally that happened. He opened the side-by-side freezer and a box of something and pulled a cookie out. And he goes, I think you should tell Justin about this.
They're all cookies. It's cookies all the way down.
They're anywhere.
Yes.
How many places could you hide a cookie?
Yeah. How many have I forgotten about? I don't even know.
Right. Yeah.
That's how forgetting works.
And I don't keep track of the credit cards at all. That is not something that I desire to do or will ever do. I don't get the notifications.
And probably wouldn't a cookie probably wouldn't pop on your radar that much anyway.
Right. But like if you told me, he could equally say like I do that every day versus I do it once a week. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Believable.
But several days this week, there was like I'm going to dramatically unveil the location of this cookie to my wife's just absolute, like, another?
Yeah. Chagrin transitioning into horror over enough time.
Right. Yeah.
There
So
might
that's
be cookies everywhere. You might be sitting on cookies right now. You know?
maybe. I mean, truly, how you could hide cookies so many places.
Oh, that's a super fun game.
Yeah. So that's the news of the Shoemaker house.
I enjoy that very much.
I thought you would.
Good-hearted fun.
That's right. It doesn't hurt anybody.
No, not really. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Doing an experiment.
It's just that's so perfect.
I mean, this is the type of shit that like we had kids for.
Yes. Yes.
Like, yes, the personal development and like creating a legacy and genuinely wanting to raise them and yada yada yada. But like, no, I can't wait for them to do ridiculous things that I will be able to remember for decades because they're so outrageous.
Well, and it's such a lovely, clear, easy story that you're going to be able to retell this every 5 years for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And it's going to work.
Oh, okay. I do believe I have to transition from training partners mode to mom mode, if that is okay with you and okay with all of our listeners.
It better be. It's snowing too hard. You got to get out of there.
That's true. Ted said it's fine, but also he's better at snow driving, so I don't trust him.
Let's get everyone inside safe and sound and
then say it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Team, this has been Training Partners Shoot the Shit. I'm Weezy Shoemaker. That's Justin McClintock. We will see you next time with a real episode. Goodbye.
I'm doing an experiment!
Here come your training partners, so smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine.